Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This one is another very interesting video similar to my Sabretooth video. We're going to be looking at one particular champion in a great amount of detail, look at really helpful synergies where that champion could be applied, and also some comic book history which I know you guys really love. So let's get into a video all about the champion of Angela. Angela may seem like a champion that not many people know much about from a comic book perspective, and also when it comes to the game. To others, she is a literal goddess when it comes to utilization, utility, and just application in different types of attacking formats. Let's bring you up to speed and talk a little bit about the comic book history surrounding this character. Angela's story starts off pretty sad, to be honest. Her full name is Aldrich, Odin's daughter, and she is indeed the daughter, the first daughter of Odin. Unfortunately, when she was very young, she was kidnapped, and this led to what they thought to be her demise. At this point, the Queen of the Angels took Aldrich back to Haven. It was at that point that she ordered the death of Aldrich. Unfortunately and fortunately, she was then saved by a handmaiden and raised with the name of Angela. Unfortunately, Angela really suffered with acceptance and confided in her mother, L'Oreal, quite a lot until her disappearance. And even though Angela has been a fairly new addition, she has had some fantastic stories. If she's not battling with the Guardians of the Galaxy in order to explore Earth, general exploration and returning back to Asgard, finding herself and also fighting her brother along the way, and also some fantastic other stories with her adventures in Hell. Yes, she goes to Hell, but it's not what you think, and there's so many great stories. Links are in the description below to find out a bit more. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. What makes this champion tick for players, and why is she recommended as such a key champion to get? You might be first put off with synergies. Nowadays, when you get a new champion into the game, their synergy is key. Some aspects allow the champion to damage output more, take damage less, or just interact with some very special synergies. Unfortunately, this is a champion that was kind of prior to those days, and it does seem to be a thing. Yes, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of link, which we talked about briefly in the comic book history, and also the link with the both brothers, the kind of step brother or half brother, and also you've got the full-blooded brother. So if that being the case, what synergies are really good for this champion? Well, I recommend several, but it's all about champion availability. There is one that's the best for this, but at the same time, if you don't have the champion, then you're not able to get it. So there has to be alternatives. I tried playing about with multiple things, Cosmic Supremacy, and also mixing with Mastermind in order to make sure we're kind of building combos, and therefore we were also getting Cosmic Supremacy, which is increasing the amount of Furies. That didn't work out so well, so therefore I changed it up. We then added something in with Morningstar, with Heimdall, and also Hela. So that combination was in there as well in order to properly unlock a bit more of this champion's ability, increasing durations, trying to use the Heimdall one, which is all about duplicating the Fury attacks, so therefore their damage outputting more. And yes, that was good, but the last one was absolutely fantastic and is the one that I really recommend people to use. So here's that synergy in all its glory. Heimdall at the top, Hela, and then we've got Morningstar, we've got Aegon finally. A great mix of champions, all with beneficial effects. And the main one is this Aegon one, which I like the most. The plus 20% potency of Fury effects, and this was the clincher between me bringing down the amount of hits against Winter Soldier. In testing, using the different synergies, it was kind of going at about 318 hits in order to take down the champion, but when we used this particular synergy, utilizing Aegon into this, the Furies, oh my god, and the damage, the amount of crits I was seeing off of this particular champion and synergy use was just intense. Now when I use the term intense, I mean that it was really decent to see. Crits of about 4,000 to 5,000, especially not even reaching up to the point of percentage where assassination is applied. But the fact is, it's still decent to see. If you're doing SP2s and they're kicking out about 20 to 30,000 a time. Well, imagine this champion off of basic hits able to put in 4 to 5,000 a time. So say if you're doing a 4 to 5 hit combo, then you're putting in 25,000 a time. But that requires some sort of strategy. The main strategy I was trying to evoke is building up past the L1, and that would then build up a little bit further to what is close to the L2. And there's good reason for this. Based on certain amounts of power bar gaining, as you can see here, build up past an L1 and you're able to get increased attack by a certain amount, depending on your starage level, depending on your rank. The fact is, as soon as you get there, you get that Fury buff. We've then got the duplication from Heimdall, which is then applying us with more amounts of damage, which is just bloody beautiful to see. And if I already have a Fury on, and the fact is I'm putting another one in, we can actually see that we've get the effects lasting longer, and also it's a case we get another one on there, which is great. We keep repeating ourselves, restacking, re-repeating, restacking, re-repeat, restack. The process continues and repeats and seems to be quite good and effective, so I continue doing that. And as we can see, we got the decent amount of damage. Now I did try something similar with the L2 to see if the stackability and also maybe the crit rate, crit damage stuff was any good, but the fact of the matter is I preferred doing the L1 method based on the amount of quick succession of Furies we could build and quick succession of damage we could get. And yes, the SP2 would definitely increase critical rating, but the fact is, man, I just want to build up those Furies quickly and also smash into the enemy, and I think I enjoyed doing that a little bit more. Now, one thing is, I'm not a massive fan of building masteries around a certain champion because it's not really of value to all of the others. If you judge one on a multiple different situation, then that may be a bit silly, but the fact is, recovery, willpower, suicide masteries, all things that can work out well with this champion. Even if it's a case if you're looking to output more damage, you could look down the route of enhanced fury and just see if you could input some more damage based on the fact of that. If you want to increase the amount of time, you could then change around the synergies a bit more. But the fact is, I think she's absolutely fine without kind of building a mastery around her. Angela is very fortunate. She's one of those champions that doesn't actually need to be awakened to be good. The fact is, the way that her ability works is interacting with champions that have nullifying abilities, which is kind of odd because a lot of champions that do nullify are mystic, and that creates a class disadvantage for her being cosmic going up against these champions, which is kind of odd, but at the same time is kind of cool because it's like her greatest weakness is also her greatest strength. But at the same time, like I said, if you're using it from an attacking perspective, she doesn't need to be awakened, still be really amazing for your roster. Now, what could she be really handy against? Well, number one with the bullet is definitely cornered. And obviously, as we know, the enemies gain power when they've got a debuff effect on them. So what better champion doesn't have debuff effects, but also has positive effects that are going to mean that she's going to damage output without the worry of putting anything negative? Yeah. Angela. And I know we touched upon this in the Sabretooth video, but also masochism. You don't want to put debuff effects on in that circumstance. So yeah, a champion like Angela would be great for this. Unfortunately, there are things that you should watch out for. She can't be applicable to every single node, so do read things carefully. But this then moves me on to the next point, and that's talking about Stardust, or maybe unavoidable damage. Yes, unavoidable damage is a pain in the butt, and the fact is we're looking for a champion that has regen in order to counteract that loss of health. And does this champion do it? Sort of, but the synergies help out a lot. Also, mastery build does as well, but I wouldn't make that a key factor to this champion, and maybe using other champions that aggressively regen against that damage taken could be the best point for this. It's up to you how you create a synergy around this champion, and whether or not you just decide that, again, champions that have got more heavier regen could be of better value in a circumstance where there's unavoidable damage. Or maybe you box clever with this. The fact is, there is a strong amount of regen. It's good enough for this champion, especially for longer fights. And this is when a champion that is at 6-star would be of more value. Adrenaline being a really good working process, and why the champion has been rated so highly as a 6-star is largely based on that adrenaline with the standard abilities of the regen mixing together with a little bit of recovery in the mastery, and also some decent build from synergy can really make for a champion that has got a strong amount of staying power in any particular fight. At the end of the day, as I'm learning more about Angela, the more I'm getting to enjoy my champions as I get them. It's great to do videos like this and at the same time explore maybe older champions that maybe need a little bit of a look, and at the same time, is there anything that Kabam are bringing into the game synergy wise that is bringing them up to speed with the current meta, which is what I think a lot of us want to see, giving light to those maybe worse champions than, or maybe unrated champions. The fact is, Angela's a great champion. I'm really happy to have it in my roster and feel completely blessed. Don't really need to have her awakened to be good, and also lots of practical use in different ways. But what are your thoughts about Angela? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. This has been an extra spotlight on a champion. If you want to see some other champion videos like this, then put them in the comment section below and maybe share some experiences with how you've used strategies with Angela in content that maybe find a little bit difficult. In any case, I've been RichTheMan. Hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.